Hello dear friends, welcome to the 7th video on linear programming problems. In this video, we will study the artificial variable techniques of simplex method to solve linear programming problems. In this video, we have chosen the Big M method for solving the linear programming problems. This method is also called as M technique or method of penalties due to a occurrence. Okay, so let us start with this new topic. In our previous videos on simplex method to solve LPP, you have seen that the slack variables, that is S, S1, S2, etc., readily provide the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, there are however many LPP problems where slack variables cannot provide such a solution. Those problems have at least one of the constraints, that is the constraint could be of equality type or greater than or equality type. So for solving the problems in which the constraints are either of equal or greater than equal to type or both type, we can use the two methods. First one is the Big M method. It is also called as the M technique or method of penalties due to a occurrence. Okay, also the second method is also available. It is the two-phase method and it is due to Denching, Orden and Wolfe. Okay, in this video we will study the Big M method to solve LPP. The Big M method involves the following steps. The step 1, we have to express the LPP in the standard form. Okay, and for the step 2, add non-negative variables to the left hand side of all the constraints of a greater than equality or equality type. For example, if the constant equation has a symbol of greater than or equal to type, then we have to subtract the surplus variable, that is minus s, and we have to add an artificial variable plus a to make the inequality symbol equal to equality. Okay, please remember that a is a artificial variable and it has to be added because this surplus variable has a negative coefficient. Okay, now if the constraint equation have a symbol of equality, then we only have to add the artificial variable, that is a. For example, if the equation is 3x plus 5y greater than equal to 7, then to make it to equality equation, we have to subtract a surplus variable, that is minus s, and we have to add an artificial variable, that is a, and then this symbol will be converted to the equality symbol. So we have to follow this step. Okay, if suppose that this equation is of 3x plus 5y equal to of 7 type, then we only have to this artificial variable. Okay, so here s is called as the surplus variable and a is called as the artificial variable. Now please note that the addition of this artificial variable causes violation of the corresponding equality constants. So to get rid of these variables, these are not allowed to appear in the final solution. Okay, and for achieving that condition, the artificial variables are assigned as a large penalty. That is, if the objective function is of maximization type, then we have to make a coefficient of minus m for the artificial variable, and if the problem is of minimization type, we have to add we have to introduce a value of plus m in front of the artificial variable. Okay, and please remember that this value is pretty larger and it is always greater than 0. Okay, then after converting the general linear programming problem to standard linear programming problem, we have to follow the simplex method as that performed in the previous numericals. Okay, so one more step here in the Big M method is that whenever at any stage of simplex method an artificial variable leaves the basis, that is if it is the outgoing variable, then it has to be dropped and all the entries in the column of this variable are omitted from the succeeding tables. Okay, also you will see this step in the upcoming numerical, and at that place this entire step will become clear. Okay, now let us understand the BIGAM method with the help of a best suitable numerical. Okay, so this is the given LPP and we have to solve this equation or this LPP using the BIGAM method. Okay, so here you will see that the objective function is of the minimization type and there are three constraints equation and there are two variables x1 and x2 and both are non-negative. Okay, so in this LPP, please note that this is a minimization type of LPP. Also it has the mixed constants, that is here you will see that there is a equality symbol, here you will see that this is a greater than equal to symbol, and if you will see this equation and this symbol, then you will see that this is a less than or equal to type of symbol. So this LPP problem, due to these three different symbols, it is called as the mixed constant equation or LPP. Okay, now we have to use the artificial variables and we can solve this LPP using either the BIGAM method or the two-phase method. Okay, so due to use of artificial variables, it is called as a artificial variable technique to solve the LPP. Okay, now we will solve this numerical using BIGAM method. So first of all, let us convert the journal LPP to standard LPP by checking for basic conditions. Okay, first of all we have to check the objective function. Okay, now here you will see that in the initial problem the objective function is of minimization type. So as per the demand of standard LPP, we have to convert this into the maximization form. Okay, so for converting this objective function to maximization form, we have to multiply this equation by -1. Okay, so when we will multiply this -1, we will be having equation as maximize z bar equal to -2x1 minus x2. Okay, now in the second step we have to check whether all the right hand side elements of all constant equation are non-negative or not. Here you will see that these 3, 6 and 3 all right hand side element of the constant equation are non-negative, so we don't have to change this value, so the second condition is already satisfied. Okay, now in the third condition we have to convert the inequality constant equation to equality equation. Okay, so let us start with the first constant equation. Okay, so here 3x1 plus x2 is equal to 3. So as the symbol is of equality, we have to add only an artificial variable. So after converting this equation, this will become as 3x1 plus x2 plus a1 equal to 3. This is the artificial variable. Okay, now the second constant equation 4x1 plus 3x2 greater than equal to 6. Here you will see that the symbol is of greater than equal to type, so we have to add surplus and artificial variable both. So the equation will now become as 4x1 plus 3x2 minus s1, as we have to subtract something so that this equation can be made equal to this 6. Okay, so that's why the coefficient of s1 here is -1, and then we have to add an artificial variable also, as we cannot consider this as in the basis. Okay, so the new equation is now equal to 6. Okay, now the third equation x1 plus 2x2 less than equal to 3, as this side is lower, so we have to add a slack variable so that the both parts of the equation will become equal. So after adding slack variable, the equation will become x1 plus 2x2 plus s2 is equal to 3. Okay, now the fourth step we have to follow is that the two variables x1 and x2 must be greater than equal to 0, that is they must have to be non-negative. Here in the given equation both x1 and x2 are greater than equal to 0, so the fourth condition is satisfied. So now let us write the final standard LPP. So this is the final standard LPP. Here you will see that the objective function is now of a maximization type, and now you will see that these artificial slack and surplus variables are also added here. Okay, now you will see that in front of A we have multiplied A1 with a larger value but with a minus sign. Okay, this minus m has been multiplied with A1, so that finally in the final solution this can be removed and this m is a larger value. Similarly, as the equation is of maximization type, we again have to multiply this A2 with this minus m. Okay, if the equation is of minimization type, these two symbols for m will be of a positive sign. Okay, now there are two slack and surplus variables also, so this is the S1 and this is S2. Okay, both will always have a coefficient of 0. Okay, now these are the three constant equation which have been made as a equal linear equation. Okay, now you will see that in this objective function x1, x2, a1, a2, s1 and s2, these are the 6 variables. So writing all them variables here and making a sign greater than equal to 0, as all these signs or variables are non-negative. Okay, now let us draw a simplex table. Okay, now you know that this is the format of a simplex table. Okay, this is the profit per unit, these are the basic variables, this is CJ, this is SV solution variable, these are the different variables, this is Zj, this is Cj minus Zj. Now we will enter the different values from the standard LPP into this simplex table 1. Okay, so you know early by watching my earlier videos you will be able now to write down these values. Okay, as these are the coefficients of these different variables in the objective function. Okay, so let us mark these values from the standard LPP. Here you will see that the coefficient of x1 is minus 2. Okay, so this is minus 2. For x2 the coefficient is minus 1. For a1 the coefficient is minus 1. For a2 the coefficient is minus 1. For s1 it is 0 and it is 0. Okay, now if in equation if you will put here x1 and x2 0, then a1 will be 3. So let us write here as a solution variable 3. This is initial basic feasible solution. Similarly, for the equation 2, if you will write x1, x2 and s1 as 0, the a2 will comes out to be 6. You can, if you are having both surplus and artificial variable, then you have to give preference always to the artificial variable. Okay, now for the equation 3, if you will put x1 and x2 as 0, then the s2 will come out to be equals to 3, and we can write here the initial basic feasible solution as 3. Okay, now we have to write these values also. Okay, so from the constant equation 1, the coefficient of x1 is 3, this is x2 is 1, a1 is 1, there is no a2, no s1, no s2. Okay, so all these values are 0. Now moving to second equation, the coefficient of x1 is 4, x2 is 3, there is no a1 but there is a2, so here the coefficient of a2 is 1, then there is minus 1 for s1 and there is no s2. Okay, now again the coefficient of x1 for third equation is 1, for x2 is just 2, there is no a1, there is no a2, there is no s1 and there is a single s2, so let us write it. Okay, now we have to write the basic variables. So for equation 1, the basic variable is a1. Okay, in this equation you will see that this s1 is having a negative coefficient, so it cannot be considered under basic variable. That's why we have added a2 here, so we have to take a2 as the basic variable. Okay, now in equation third there is s2 and we can make it as basic variable. Okay, now we have to write the values of PPU for these different variables. So let us have a look on the first row of simplex table. Here you will see that on the top of a1 the value is minus m, so we have to write minus m here. Similarly for a2 the value is minus m. Again for s2 the value is 0. Okay, now we have to find the value of Zj. Now to find the value of Zj, multiply this value with this one, minus m into 3, then make a plus sign, then multiply this value with this, minus m into 4, then multiply this value with this, and then solve this equation. Then you will see that this is minus 3m, this is minus 4m, and this is 0, and the total is minus 7m. So the value for the first column of Zj is minus 7m. Similarly, we can find the value of all other columns, and they are as minus 4m, minus m, minus m, m, and 0. Okay, now we have to find the value of Cj minus Zj. Okay, so these are the values of Cj and these are the value of Zj. We have to subtract these values from these values to find the value of Cj minus Zj. So let us subtract these values. So the equation will become minus 2 plus 7m, this will minus 1 plus 4m, this will be 0, this is again 0, 0 minus m, and this is 0. Okay, now let us make an optimality check. Okay, so you know that for a maximization problem, if all the values of Cj minus Zj are less than or equal to 0, the solution is optimal. Okay, now let us check these values for this simplex table 1. Here you will see that m is a very larger value, and if you will subtract a minus 2 from this larger value, this will definitely be a positive value. Again, this will also be a positive value. So in this Cj minus Z0, you will see that all values are not less than or equal to 0. So this is not an optimal solution. Okay, so we have to find now the key column, ratio, key row, outgoing variable, incoming variable, and key element. Okay, so that we can use them in simplex table 2. Okay, so for finding the key column, we have to choose the highest positive value under the row Cj minus Zj. Here you will see that this is the most positive value, so let us select this value. Okay, and the column now at the top of this value will become as the key column. So this is the key column. Okay, now we have to find the ratio. Okay, so you know that for finding the ratio, we have to divide these value with these corresponding values. So if you will divide this 3 by 3, the value will come out to be as 1. If you will divide this 6 by 4, the value will come out 1.5, and if you will divide 3 by 1, the value is 3. And from these different ratio, we have to choose the minimum value for the ratio. Here you will see that this one is the minimum value, so the row in front of this value will be the key row. So now let us mark this row as the key row. Okay, now we have to check the variables for the key row and the key column. Here you will see that this a1 is the variable against the key row, so this will be the outgoing variable, and this x1 is the variable against the key column, so this will be the incoming variable. Okay, and after all of this, we have to find the key element. Here you will see that this 3 is available at the intersection of key row and key column, so this 3 is now the key element. Okay, now we have to draw the simplex table 2. Okay, and to draw the simplex table 2, we have to make this key element as unity and these two elements as 0, and for that we have to perform different mathematical operations. Now the one important thing which you have to remember in Big M method is that as artificial variable, a1 is the leaving element from the basis, so it has to be dropped, and all entries in the column of this variable are omitted from simplex table 2. So here now in simplex table 2, you will see that as a1 has been dropped, so there is no column here for A1. Okay, so this is the difference between the simplex method and the BigM method. Okay, so now let us perform the first row operation, that is let us make the key element 3 as 0. Okay, so if you want to make this element, if we have to make this key element as a unity, so if you want to make this key element as unity, we have to divide all these elements of this key row by this element. So let us divide all these elements by 3. Now after dividing all these elements by 3, we will be having values as 1 1 1 by 3, then 0, then 0 and 0. Okay, now we have to make these two elements as 0 and we have to perform two different functions. Write all the elements of this row from the simplex table 1 in the form of a column. Okay, so we have written these values here in the form of a column, then we have marked the minus sign, then we have marked the bracket, then we have write a column which has been taken from the simplex table 2, and these are the elements from the newly entered row. Okay, you will see that this is 1, this is 1, this is 1 by 3, and all these are 0. Okay, now we have to multiply all these elements by the element which has to be made 0 from the simplex table 1. Here you will see that this 4 has to be made 0, so we will multiply all these elements with this 4. Okay, then we will solve this equation, and after solving this equation we have got the values as these. Okay, now we will plot all these values in the simplex table 2. Okay, so writing these values in the simplex table 2 in the form of a row again, 0 2 0 5 by 3, then 1, then minus 1 and 0. Again, if you will follow the same method for making this one as 0, you can generate the new row for the simplex table 2. Okay, so after performing a proper mathematical operation, we have also find the value of this row. So let us write them as it is in the simplex table 2. We have solved these values and written here. Okay, so all these rows has been converted. Now we have to write the values of BV and PPU also. Okay, now from the simplex table 1, you will see that this A1 is the outgoing variable and this X1 is the incoming variable. So now replace this A1 by this X1, and the value for this X1 at the top is minus 2, so we will write this value here in the simplex table 2. So let us write this value. Okay, so this is now X1, the value for X1 is second variable as it is, and the coefficient for that variable is minus m, and S2, and the coefficient is 0. Okay, now we will find the value of Zj. Okay, you know already the procedure of finding the value of Zj, so I am writing these values as it is. Okay, so if you will solve for this column, the value will be minus 2, then this value is minus 2 by 3, minus 5 by 3 m. Okay, this value is minus m, this value is m, and this value is 0. Okay, now we will find the value of Cj minus Zj. So if you will subtract these values from these values, we can have the values of Cj minus Zj. So after solving, we can have the values as 0, minus 1 by 3 plus 5 by 3 m. This value will be 0, this value will minus m, this value is 0. Again, we have to make an optimality check. Here you will see that this m is a very larger value and we are subtracting a very small value from this, so this is a positive value. So these are the values which are less than or equal to 0, but these are values which are greater than 0. So the condition for optimality is not met, so we can say that this is not again an optimal solution. So for finding a solution, we again have to find the key row, key column, OGV, ICV and key element in simplex table 2. Okay, So let us choose the highest value against Cj minus Zj. Here you will see that this is the highest value, so the corresponding column will be the key column. Here the column is now a key column. Okay, now we will find the ratio, and for finding the ratio we have to divide this value by this. So 1 upon 1 by 3, it will come out as 3. Then this will come out as 2 upon 5 by 3 as 6 by 5. Then again 2 upon 5 by 3, this will come out to be as 6 by 5. Now you have to choose the minimum values, as these two are the minimum values under the ratio. Now we have to select the minimum ratio which is against the artificial variable, as we have to remove this from the final solution. So if such a condition is arises, then we have to choose the row which is having an artificial variable. So let us choose this ratio. Okay, now the value against this ratio will be, or the row against this ratio will be the key row. Okay, so this is the key row. Okay, now you will see that a2 is the variable for key row, so this is now the outgoing variable, and x2 is the variable for key column, so this x2 will be the incoming variable, and the 5 by 3 is available at the intersection of key row and key column, so this will be the key element. Okay, now to generate, after making three different operations in the simplex table 2, that is converting this key element to 1, then converting these two elements as 0, and eliminating this the A2 column, we have generated the simplex table 3. Okay, so these are the different values under simplex table 3, and you will see that there is no A2 now. Okay, now we have to write down the values of BV and PPU. So you will see that this is x1, now this has become x2, this will remain s2 as it is. Okay, now the value at the top of x1 is -2, and the value at the top of x2 is -1, and for s2 the value is 0. Now we have to find the values of zj and cj minus zj. So if you will solve these two equations, the value will be -2 into 1 as -2, and rest of the two values are 0, so this value is -2. Now this value will be -2 into 0, -2 into 0 is 0, -1 into -1, and 0 into 1, so this is -1, and the values for the s1 and s2 column are 1 by 5 and 0. Okay, now we will find the values under cj minus zj, and the value for cj minus zj is 0, 0, -1 by 5 and 0. Okay, now we have to make an optimality check. Here you will see that all values under cj minus zj are either 0 or less than 0, so we have reached to an optimal solution. Now we will find the values of different variables and the value of z. Okay, now after having a look on simplex table 3, you will see that here the x1 is having a value of solution variable as 3 by 5, x2 is having a value of 6 by 5, s2 is only a man-made or artificial variable or a surplus variable, so this will not be used in the final solution. Okay, so x1 is 3 by 5, x2 is 6 by 5. Okay, now if we will put this value in the initial question objective function, that is minimize z to x1 plus x2, we can have value as 2 into 3 by 5 plus 6 by 5, and this is 6 by 5 plus 6 by 5, and the final solution is 12 by 5. Okay, so this is the question which is solved using Big M method, and it has used all the three constraints. Okay, so this is the way we can solve a numerical using the Big M method.